Guys, okay, we're live. We're back. How you guys doing today? I hope you're great. Happy New Year to you all. I'm excited to be here. Sorry about the network issue. My guest couldn't make it earlier when we're not hearing his voice, so I had to put on my VPN here in Dubai. If you don't put on your VPN, you might not be able to add somebody else to your life. So let's hope it works now. I've put on my VPN. I'm very sure from my end things are good. I hope it works. Welcome everyone. Happy New Year to you. As you're joining, tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. Your name and the city you're joining me from. I'd like to know your name and your city. And a major happy new year to you guys. I'm glad that you made it into the new year. It's a tough one. God did it. Okay, God did it, and only God could have made it work. So we're gonna have a great time. I'm grateful that you made it into the new year. So a big happy new year to you all. And I pray, honestly pray, that this will be your best year ever. Shion, where are you joining me from? Mayowa from Lagos. Happy New Year. Ekwe from Lagos. Please, your name and where you're joining me from, because some of you, your handle is crazy. It's not easy to call. Nwachukwu Oluchi Sophia from Nigeria. Where in Nigeria? Mayowa from Enugu. Welcome, Mayowa. David Dool Roy Motion. David, where are you joining us from? Thank you. You feel an anointing on me. Thank you. Daniel from Dubai. Daniel, how are you? Okay, I hope you're good, Daniel. So Cake Event, what's your name? You joined me from Lagos. Okay. Elijah from Ogun State. How are you, Elijah? Good to have you. From Abule Egba, what's your name? It's important to state your name because a lot of yous handle. My own handle is just my name, Stephen Akintayo. So a lot of you handle are not such that, you know, it's easy to just pronounce your name. So I think if you, it will be easy to just call that handle and pull you up. Okay. So happy New Year to you all, and I pray to be your best year ever. Hey, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, sir. Good to be here, sir.
Yeah. So I can hear you very clearly. Is your mentee also here?
Sir.
I said, is your mentee also here?
He's about to join. My IT friend is about pulling him to join.
Oh, okay. Fine. So happy New Year. How did it go? What are you expecting this new year? Oh, what happened? Oh, I was just about to start with him and the network went off. For all of you just joining us, tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. Okay, welcome. I'm going to be having an interview with a mentee of mine, you know, privileged to coach him in real estate. Last year he did, he set a target of 2 billion Nigerian naira, and in dollars, that's 2 billion is about $3 million. And ladies and gentlemen, he did way more than that. he was able to do a single deal, first deal, that was about 3 point something billion. That's almost $10 million. And that was the first time. He's never even done up to $200,000 single deal. Now he was doing over $10 million worth of deal, and it was a game changer for him. And he came up with something powerful about 10 things he learned from me, and he's even been teaching a lot of people who have since used that as well, and been able to do a lot of great stuff for themselves. And so for me, it's great and it's such an honor to bring such a gentleman to here and to share with you guys how, last year, 2022, was a game changer. What were the things he did? I'm hoping some of us will be inspired as well to take some of the steps he took, and hopefully those steps will help many of you as well. But let's start with you. Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear
Mr.
you.
David, let's start with you. Yeah, let's start with you. When he's ready, we'll later pick him up. But I want to start with your story because your journey and your story is such. No problem. But let's start with your own story. How did 2022 go for you? Right? So how can you describe 2022?
2022 was, in summary, it was, I exceeded my expectation because entering 2022, I had like 15 million as a target, but I saw you wrote something on your wall of $20 million to be done in Dubai alone. Then that whole thing changed my thinking because it starts from the mindset. I said, if a young man of our generation, God has blessed him above us, but of our generation can send 20 million, if he can even think of it in Dubai alone. So I just said, let me do 2 billion. Let me take a quarter, just a little of it. And I put it on my vision board. And I started running with it. I started thinking of the next thing to do after the vision. You've taught us, what do? You now start changing your association. You start practicing only quality people that can either make you think towards that direction or make you close those deals. And you start looking at only quality places. So I started choosing where to go and where not to go. So OQP, and only quality discussions as well, and only quality books. So I hooked up to your 37 books online. And when the Billionaires book came out, I was privileged to buy books. I came to Banana Island, not just buying the book, but to connect around you, which I did. And as God may have it, I started applying those principles. Then on the golf course one day, I was discussing with one of my business mentors. He's a friend to the guy that helped me close the deal. So I told him about this stuff. He said, yes, the person asked him if I can handle it and if he can trust me, though we're in the same church. So the guy spoke positive of me, said he told him, yes, I should go ahead with the whole thing. And the guy closed. After like 2 weeks, it just happened that they signed the deal, and for every time he pays a particular sum, the first one he paid was about 600 million. So for every time he pays the client, I get money in millions of a lot of money coming. So that's how it went in 2022. And there's something I was to share with you, but I said let the thing close a little. In November, I signed a deal of $66 million with a client. He's a church person as well in a co-Atlantic. But they are about to close. They are still doing the documentation and all that. If they had done that before the incident with DSS and CBN governor, I would have flown down to Dubai, not to tell you on the phone. I will not just come and say I did it. I will bring raw dollars. So by the grace of God, sir, before this month ends, they will close and will pay about $67 million.
Wow. Congratulations. I'm really, really inspired by your story. And I think, a lot of times you want to say, oh, I mean, I inspire you, but your hunger, right, is just infectious. You've been with us. I hosted you for one of our retreats, and even right there, I saw your hunger for success. How important is the place of hunger? I don't know whether that's part of the 10 things you said you learned from me, but how important is the
Yes,
place of hunger in success? Because here were you, your higher, if we put it in dollars, you've never done, prior to 2022, you've never even done up to $200,000 in single transaction, right? But you set a target before you then meet me. And there was you doing, I think you did over that deal of 3 point something billion dollars, that's excess of $10 million. You know, way more than you ever could imagine. Where is the place of hunger and where is the place of setting a higher target? Because some of us watching here don't even have a target for 2023. They just want to leave it. Some people will tell you, oh, I've stopped setting targets. And it sounds sensible to some people. But hey, if you have ever set targets and it worked, you understand how powerful goal setting can be in a new year. So go ahead.
okay. The first question, the place of hunger. In one of your teachings, I don't know, you may not remember, you said a hungry man will get to the place of success over a talented man. You said, and I quote, that a
Powerful.
hungry man will get to the place of success over a talented man. And we now ask a question, why so? You said because the talented man is comfortable that anytime, any day, he can get there. But the hungry man is so hungry that because of the drive, because of the hunger, he wants to change position. He will get there before the so-called talented and connected person. And you said in one of your trainings too, that the Prince of Dubai, Amaton, said, when a lion wakes up in the morning, it will run over a gazelle. And if a gazelle wakes up, it will run faster than the lion. Because whichever way, the lion, if the gazelle does not run faster than the lion, it will eat up the gazelle. So the place of hunger comes for poverty. My own story, I lost my father when I just graduated to cancer. My mother is a civil servant. I know how difficult and how tough. And 4 years ago, the only house we had that we rented got burnt, and there was nothing left. My mother was privileged to come from a rich home, but he got married to, let's say, an average, a modest man or a poor man. But when my father left, the only thing that we had in the rented apartment got burnt in 2018. And that's the same year I started following you. So then I just started, I have lost a lot of things. I've gone through a lot. I've met this spiritual mentor of mine, Pastor David Ibiome, and he started teaching us, and I met you, a business mentor. So there was always that push, but my mother never wanted us to do Yahoo. He never wanted us to jabba and do anything abroad. I had a master's degree, but there was always this place of, one day my child will meet somebody that will help him. So meeting you and reading all those things, poverty was part of those things. Not remaining in poverty, not going to remain there. My mother was not living in a self-contained somewhere. And I started following you. That hunger was there. I was the first. My last born was doing architecture. It was so tiresome that she would have to borrow money over and over to meet up with the last one. So for me, it was like you said in one of your teachings, when a lion is pursuing you, the way you run is not the way you run if a goat is pursuing you. For me, I was being pursued by a lion at the same time. But while other people that were as poor as I am, they felt poverty was nothing. And I love the good things of life. And I noticed that you said, anytime you come back, you go to Marriott Hotel. So I started doing window shopping. I can go to a car shop, dress well, price, how much is this car? I started having a desire, a hunger to break out. I started reading books the way you were reading. I went to Abuja. The first day I went to Abuja, The first place I went to was IBB Golf Course. I rented a cab that was not colored. Went to practicing quality places. I started applying those things you were saying. It wasn't making sense initially, but on the long run, I started seeing how you were able to turn these things around. And before you know it, I started doing real estate little by little. I started telling people I'm not a real estate person. I started calling myself big names. Somebody will laugh at me. So my cousins in the US, because my people, they travel a lot. So they started calling me, can we get land through you? Because they know I was a sincere person. Integrity was there. So I did the first one, 7.5 million. I made 700 something. I did the other one, 14 million. Along through 2019, 2020, 2021, before I now set that goal. So the place of hunger was more from changing the narrative, personally to remove my family. So I can tell you today, I shared with you before, when I made that deal, my first money that was paid was 10 point something. After I removed my tithe, I bought a car to first of all at least make my business more easier. Then I completed her house. She left the self-contained and she moved into her, though that was emotional blackmail. I would have rented a 3-bedroom, paid for 2 years. I didn't know all this and reinvested back the money. So by the grace of God, when they pay the second batch, I know what to do. There's a thought.
Okay. I think his network went up. How many of you are learning? If you are learning from Mr. David Ibiome, type I'm learning, I'm learning, I'm learning. We can't hear you again, Mr. David. We can't hear you. For those of you just joining us, this is a testimony series. And I'm just bringing up a couple of people that, I learned a few things from me last year. And I'm only bringing up people to practical decision towards changing their story, right? Not just talking, right? People that are tangible evidence. In fact, the transaction he was able to do, of over $10 million, I met the client himself who he did it through. So these are tangible evidence of a man's life changing and turning around by him taking action. Can you guys hear me, guys? If you can hear me, type I can hear you. I want to be sure this is not from my end. I want to be sure the network issue is not from my end. Can you hear me? Because like the two of them just left. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. So you can hear me. So very important that you understand. A lot of times we make this mistake that you have to be hungry for success, and that's what Mr. David was sharing. He was a hungry guy, and I've seen that about him. As much as people like him will say, oh, I watched your book, I read your book, you inspire me and things like that. But I admire hunger of, because a lot of us are not hungry. This man came to my office in Banana Island and bought all my books. If I got to know about him through my peer, who said, sir, you have a mentee, you must connect to. This guy is hungry. He's visited us here, he's bought all your books, and when they share with me his results, I said, well, these are the kind of people I want to meet. I love people. If you don't call me your mentor, you don't have results, right? You should have practiced what I teach from my books, or from my coaching program, from my training, and it has worked. At that point, you can now say I'm your mentor. I will be glad to accept the title. Okay? But I've been following for years. It's not an achievement. There must be a tangible result to back up the so-called following me. Your network went off at some point. So yes, please go ahead from the. I think you've shared a lot about hunger, and I love your angle on the subject of hunger. You can pick it up from the angle of visions, having a goal, the place of goal setting. You had to set a goal, right? And over. I mean, your goal was, if you put it in dollars, you wanted maybe about $2 million, but you ended up doing about over $10 million. That is a very tall order. How important is it to set goals? I think there's a background noise, but you can go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, we can hear you. Go ahead. The place of goal setting.
In the place of goal setting, I'll just give an example that everybody will understand. When you're playing a football and there's no goal post, you start playing the ball 1st of January, 31st December, the person would have wasted his whole time. Okay, for a place of goal, the major thing it does for me, like I saw your goal, $20 million for Dubai for that particular year, and I did not even have a goal. So I said 2 billion. The place of goal brings your whole mind, your whole desire into one. Now, this year I saw that you have set a goal of 3.6 billion dirhams in Dubai alone. So my goal for last year, this year we just rounded up, was 2 billion, and I did 3.6. Then I changed it. You told me, David, you can do more. I changed it to $100 million. So I shared something. For the place of goal setting, what it does, it makes you to start thinking, oh, if I have a goal to have 10 cars, what business will I do that I can do 10 cars? How many business will I do? Where do I connect to meet these persons? What do I do away with? What do I start doing? Now I started playing golf. Now this year I want to join polo. I went to price how much it costs to own an Argentine pony. They told me it costs about 30 million. And my friend knows a friend close to Dantata. So if I start playing polo today, if I buy a pony now, what I intend to do, I intend to rent a pony for a year. I'm not going to buy a pony, an Argentine pony, for like 2 million in a year. So when I come around the Dantata, come around that environment, there's another thinking. Now, because of my goal for this year is $1 billion. Now, if I must do half of $1 billion or 10% of $1 billion, what am I directly saying? So I must do 3 airline sports. I must do golf more frequently. I must do polo. And if I go to any country, I must do Ferrari, Formula One. I may not do it just for the love, just to connect. So those are these 3. So what is God doing for me? The goal now is making me to think of how to think better, how to relate better, how to network better, okay, now, sir, when I read your book, when I saw your book of Billionaire with Pastors, Billionaire for Pastors, for Entrepreneurs, so I came up with a book this year, 30 lessons I learned from 30 billionaire lessons. I started writing that book because it's part of my goal, 30 billionaire lessons that I learned from billionaires. Now, what am I going to do there? Because of my goal, there's a topic that I will have to, there's a page. Like, for example, this is what I learned from Dr. Stephen Akintayo. I will have to link with Dr. Stephen Akintayo. There's a place where I have to link with my mentor, spiritual mentor. There's a place where I'm bringing 30 billionaires to join me. So the place of a goal, put your whole mind into number one, that there's a can-do attitude. It takes your mind away from the no thinking to the thinking arena. It takes you to start, okay, where do I network? How can I network better? It makes me to start practicing only quality places this year and all of that. So that's what the goal setting does for me. Without a goal, nothing can be done. Like my mentee was telling me that his goal for last year was $5 million. That this year is $5 million. While we were waiting for you, I said, what is wrong with you? What do you mean by $5 million last year? And I asked him a question. He said before the master class, when he paid $100 to be my master class, that because he's a lawyer, a working lawyer, he has never thought of doing business outside law. Anytime they bring business, it's for business people. But this time, they brought something, he would say it by himself. They brought something, and he made a call to Just, and he closed a deal. Outside his law something, 300 and something million, and he's into money for the first time, outside law. And now there's another one waiting about $1 billion plus. And I told him the biggest money is real estate. After this meeting, go and register with GTS and Associates. And I tell a lot of people around me, go and start selling real estate, even if you are doing cake, even if you are a teacher. The sky is too big for all of us. When you start making it, I will be making it as well. I'll be proud to say I introduced you to. But the only thing you will do, you must sell under somebody that have integrity. Because when you run with the person's money, they will not see the person. It is you they will hold. So he agreed that he will start doing real estate today. So that's the place of goal setting, sir.
Wow, powerful, powerful. I mean, guys learned something. If you learned something, type I learned something. I learned something. We have also with us Barrister Allen. How are you today?
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Dr. Kintayo. Good evening, everyone. I'm fine, very well. Thank you. Okay.
So, you are a lawyer, if I'm correct.
Yes, I'm a lawyer in Port Harcourt.
So, what inspired you to be able to close a deal of, is it $300,000 or how much?
320 million naira. It's quite small.
Okay,
So
nice.
what?
Okay, that's like that's like $500,000.
Yes, approximately.
Have you joined?
Okay, so
Have you joined?
Yeah.
Why have you not joined?
Pastor Eboyman, David
Any
Eboyman came to the
screenshots
office,
from
and he left an instruction that we should prepare documents for a $66 million transaction. And when I saw that, I said, wow. After preparing the agreement, I had to approach him. I said, please, I am hungry. I don't know where to learn this thing, but whatever it is you are doing, I want to do it. I want to learn it. If there's something to learn that skill, I'm willing to pay it. And I said, okay, that he has a master class. He's going for about $1,000, but he's going to give me a discount. I should pay $100. I immediately paid, and I was eager to actually learn. So the masterclass was shifted twice. I was patient. I was anticipating. So when we came there, he said a lot of things that did something to my mind. He showed us his board where he pinned his goal for the year. He showed us how he, by faith, got the twins he was expecting. He showed us how to visualize something and bring it to reality. And as he was talking, something was happening to my mind. Something was happening. He said several things. Only quality people, only quality places, only quality conversations. So I said, okay. Then he said he's a mind shift expert, and he shifted my mind that day. He said, if you can think it, you can have it. You are limited only in your thoughts. So I said, okay. The following
Yes.
day, I went to the office. I wrote $5 million and I pasted it on my board in the office. And the cleaner came to clean. She just took it out. I called her. I said, look, you see this thing that is there? Don't take it. Do not ever take it out. Just leave it that way. When people come into my office, they make jest of it. They say, is that your new target for your department? I said, no, it's not a department target. It's a personal target. And they're like, okay, fine. Good luck. Good luck with that. And it was only much later that I learned that if only I had 10x, if I had done a 10x, probably I would have actually hit that my target, because you 10x your target. I ended up doing a 500K approximately, which is 1/10 of the $5
Yeah,
million.
but you did that in a space of how many months from when you went for the training?
Okay, 3 months. 3 months. 3 months.
So 3 months after the training, you were able to close your first deal, and that was $500,000.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I think you should be proud of yourself, because the goal, he said it was for a whole year, right? And you were able to in 3 months. I think it's this new year that you can 10x and see what you do between now and December. But I'm inspired because the hunger, because a lot of people won't do what you did. He came to your law firm. He needed to draft an agreement of 60 what?
About $66 million thereabouts. $66 million.
$66 million for a property deal. And you saw that as a challenge to say, how did you do this? How were you able to close or attract a property transaction of $66 million? And not everybody thinks that way.
And one of the things I've always shared is two things you can't afford to have: poverty and pride. It took humility for you to have said, even though I'm the one to draft, I'm the learned colleague, as you guys call yourself, but I'm not learned in how to close this kind of heavy deal. Make me learned in this. A lot of people won't do that, and I've seen a lot of people who let money go by. They won't ask the right questions. They won't. They are not willing to pay for mentorship. They are not willing to walk up to people and say, "Hey, whatever you know, I want to know, and I'm willing to pay for it." You went further. The guy says $1,000. He's going to give you discount for $100. You paid immediately. How important is it? And I want to share with my viewers, is it for people to pay to be mentored? Why is it important to pay for mentorship when it comes to learning a business or a trade?
Okay.
Sir, can I start? Can I start, sir?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Sir, to start with, I said if I knew you were going to have a boot camp tomorrow, if it's not $1,000 and a discount of 50%, we won't do it. I would have advised. I would have pleaded, because you came to Port Harcourt and it was free. I did not come, but when you finally came and we were paying, I came. The word is not for free people. The word is for the word is for people that are hungry enough to take it. So I want to digress a little. I want to go political a little. Sorry, I take permission. I am going to vote Peter Obi. This is not a political saying, but sir, the man calling himself a Miloko, whether we take it or leave it, it will take only God for that man not to become the president of Nigeria, because of he's so hungry and he's paying everything. So coming back to what you just said, sir, without paying, anybody that cannot pay for it. I told this man $1,000. This man was telling me, what if he does $300? I woke up the next day and said, no, give me $100. This is your first time. And he paid. 4 other persons paid. My own younger brother, that's an architect, that his property that he has bought, I'm 10 years older than him, but he has more property than me. The young man is an architect. Because of the Yahoo friends around him, he knows some of these things that we are talking about. So he leveraged on them to build houses for them. He paid me $100. And some of my friends I gave free assets, they did not show up. Until tomorrow, I keep sending them 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. And I said, any of my person related to me, except my wife, that cannot pay for my master class will not listen to what I am saying until they see me flying in jets. See me flying. There was one D in 66 million. There's another one, 5.7 million. But Sir Allen has forgotten. It was his overall. Is a big firm. They asked him to handle the deal. My friend in their firm, that is a partner, the lead partner, the one in my church, was abroad that period, so he didn't have the chance. So he asked me to be by Sir Allen. I was delaying, but I needed that document because they're about to close with Eco Atlantic, and I needed a firm document that when they are paying, I can get my deal. So, sir, it is very necessary for everybody to come to the table paying. Anybody that cannot pay for a course, fine, discount is good, but if the person cannot pay, the person is not worth it. It's not worth your time. You have done almost 10 years worth for free, so the person is not worth it.
My manager has spoken, guys. Mr. David Bioma is my manager. He has spoken. 2023, no more free coaching, no more.
Even staff should pay 25%. Every staff must be paid. This is a new year. Every staff, even if it's 25%, they should pay from their January salary.
My wife is shaking her head. She says she agree with that one. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the Bible says, "Buy truth and do not sell it." And the Bible also says that because you have rejected knowledge, therefore I've also rejected you. Understand? So there's something about knowledge. You understand? And something about success. The secret to success is in the middle of what that person is doing. It is success is predictable. It can be reproduced. It's just like getting the seed and planting it. So the moment you see somebody that's successful, what is making that person successful is in the middle of what that person is doing. If you get that thing, it can make you successful. You can also teach it to other people and earn revenue from it. So the knowledge industry, the knowledge investment is always very, very important. And again, you need to stand on the shoulders of people that have gone through that process to rise. I don't need to start doing a 10-year trial and error when somebody has already done that, gotten the formula that works and has it. I'll just with everything I have, get that knowledge from that person, practice it, and mentorship is so necessary, so important. It saves people years. 20, 30 years of error can be abridged in a very short while. So it's a must. In fact, for me, mentorship is a must.
Absolutely. One of the things I noticed in our part of the world, particularly in Africa, we do not value, having business coaches and mentors. We love having spiritual ones, but I made those mistakes as well when I started. I didn't know that. Despite that I had a spiritual coach, I had a spiritual mentor, that I still needed a business mentor, and I didn't know. And for many years, my business suffered because the spiritual principles that you use for your spiritual life are a bit different from that of business, right? I'll give you an example. You will probably say, oh, let your left hand not know what your right hand is doing. Even though sometimes these things are misinterpretation, right? And people bring that into business as well. That culture of let's be conservative about what we're doing, and then you bring that into business, a business that requires heavy marketing, that requires that it has to be seen, and people don't buy the best product, they buy the most seen product. So rather than go heavy on marketing, you say, no, it will look like I'm bragging. It will look like I don't want to be too loud. I don't want to be too out there. And your business is then struggling. And because you are bringing that religious culture of don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing, right? And you're bringing that into business. In fact, I remember our company's charity project too. I didn't used to even tell anybody. Meanwhile, if you're doing charity as a company, in fact, in the US, they make it tax deductible. That you can remove what you are helping using for charity, because they want to encourage such culture. You are reducing poverty, and you will attract goodwill. Now you don't tell anybody your company had paid tuition fee or your company had helped people, right? And then you bring all this religious culture. And it's because you don't have a business mentor to help you create the balance of what are the things to do in your personal life spiritually, and what are the things that your business needs to do. Two different things. You may be personal and private, but your business needs to be out there. If your business is not visible, it's not making the noise, getting the attention, you are not going to make the sale. Your business is not going to grow. So it's important to have a business mentor. I made those mistakes. I don't make it anymore. If I tell people the level of your business mentor should be directly proportional to the level of income your business wants to make. So if you are at the level, and I'm at that level where right now I want to be doing billions of dollars in sales every year. And so the kind of mentors I had to connect with were mentors who are billionaires in dollars. And some of them shocked me with some of their statements. One of them, literally, because I hesitated on a coaching deal for him to coach me of over $1 million. My hesitation made him to say, you know what, I'm not interested anymore. I'm like, are you kidding me? Right? I'm like, what's going on here? $1 million you just throw like that over coaching. It's not even like I bought a house from him or I bought a car. You're asking me to pay over $1 million on coaching. I'm trying to ask questions. You vex them.
Wow.
Right? So it's important, but I get it. As much as I get even why he's angry. Because he's saying to me, like, you're paying me over $1 million to help you, guy. I will make way more than that if I put that time and energy in my business. And a lot of people don't understand that somebody sent me a message today. Oh, can I have your number so I can call you for an advice? I said, I'm sorry, I don't give free advice. I don't. It is poor people that give. Even unsolicited advice they will give you. I don't know if you have noticed that. Even on your page, they will come. I advise you. Dear Dr. Stephen. I remember one day I was traveling from Dubai, London to Dubai. And I did a post, I sat down and I said, the eagle is about to fly from London to Dubai. And then somebody posted there and said, I'm advising you, my advice to you, don't always, he said, many lizard or, always put their tummy on the floor. You don't know the one that has stomach ache. You should stop, publicizing where you are going. I had to, I'm so sorry, they don't have kidnappers in Dubai. No, I think it was Dubai to London or somewhere. It was somewhere. Now, what was funny was, at the end of, in fact, I think it went viral because I think some bloggers took it. Here is the story. True story. That same post got somebody to notice I was coming to London and connected with me, and I know how much money I made from that deal. And see the stupid advice. And I'm sure, in fact, a lot of other people joined him to say, hey, correct, wisdom. But that was a dummy, daft concept. It works in religion, whether it's traditional religion or other religion, those things work. But in business, you have to be visible. It was a strategic move trying to tell partners, potential people to say, hey, I'll be in London this period, right? You want to connect with me if you want to do deals. So it's foolishness for me to say, I'm not going to say I'm going to London because I don't understand. They will kidnap me, or what was the thinking, right? And these are the mindsets a lot of us have, that it will take great business mentors to shatter. Literally, when they say brainwash, that's what a great business mentor will do. He will brainwash you because you obviously have the wrong set of ideas in your brain, and it has to be washed. Totally washed out, right? And until it is washed, you're not going to have the right mindset. For example, Mr. David Billman here sharing his story. He had known people in his church who were billionaires and never thought of playing golf with them. And he was also a pastor like them. Yeah, he was not as rich as he. It cost him nothing to have gone to one of them to say, please, I don't even know how to play golf. I don't even mind taking your bag for you, but I want to be joining you to the golf course. And guess what? He said, no problem. He was at the first golf session with one of them that he made that deal of over $10 million. But all that was in a book of a business mentor, which was me. What if he didn't read that book? What if he read that book and didn't practice it? We won't be here. We won't be talking of another deal of $66 million about to be closed. So ultimately, the gap between you and your next level is looking for a business coach, an investment coach that has results in whatever it is that he's teaching. And I've said this many times. Many of us have made the biggest mistake. We have approached the finest coach. We have approached coaches with the best of English as if it is English you are about to eat. Aspire to require, to acquire. That's not what we're talking about. When picking a business coach, right, you're looking at who has results. He may not have English. One of my business coaches, Dr. Cosmos Maduka. And he himself always humorously say that my English might might be might be cutting themselves, right? If I speak the most crude English, but it's not about English. I'm able to make money. I have businesses in Japan, which is true. Okay? And he's one of my business mentor because it's not sweet English I'm trying to get from the man. How to make the money. So many people will even pick a business coach, but guess the mistake they make? They don't pick the one that has result. They pick the one that is able to speak, has the swag, has the persona, has the charisma. We will not eat charisma, right? I'm sure Barrister Allen here, if he was based on charisma and good English, you know, you will not have paid the $100 to Mr. David Biome, right? And you have better English. You studied law. Even your background, you can see there's Chinese in his own background. Your background, you have beautiful artwork. You know. So you have your package. But this is what I keep telling people. Many people will package them. So that's why stop following celebrities. Many of them are broke and poor because packaging does not bring the money. It doesn't. My first time meeting Dr. Cosmos Maduka, I was shocked. He was carrying his bag. In fact, how I got to know it was him, he was arguing with, we're about flying to Abuja or somewhere, and, you know, passing the, you know, airport security. And you know how Nigeria airport securities could be. Obviously, they knew it was him. They expected him to give them money. So they kept saying you need to rescan. So at some point, he had to protest. I said, what's wrong with you? That's how I got to look at it. This Dr. Cosmos, he was alone, shirt and trouser, carrying books. That is one of the richest people in Africa. He didn't look like it. A lot of people are not nearly as rich as he is, right? Have how many bodyguards, have how many, the way they will look. So the lesson here, when picking a business mentor, it's not about the grammar, it's about result. All my mentors, even Grant Cardone will still says that he still think his English is also not that good. But it doesn't matter. In fact, his book, 10X, some people were sending him a message that they saw grammatical error in 10X book. And he said, my friend, what's the big deal, man? It's about the book. It's about the lesson. It's not about the English. So get mentors who have results, not necessarily mentors who have good English. Look for people who have results this year. It's 2023. Look for people who have tangible results in their business, tangible results in what they do, and go reach out to them. It's not going to be free. And say, mentor me. That's the lesson from these two gentlemen. I wish we have more time. I definitely will bring you back again. I want to thank you both for coming. And I'm happy you all have your goals set this new year. You know, hold me the best way you can. Like my manager, Mr. David, has said, I'm not doing freak coaching this year. Okay. And it's true because I really want to get more serious individuals. I want to get hungry people. I want to be the coach of people who are hungry because I want to have more testimonies like the ones you guys have shared. Congratulations, guys. I'm impressed with your story. You guys rock it, and let's do bigger things this year. I want to have this same conversation with you January of 2024, and it's a bigger. If possible, I want to even be having this testimony every quarter, right? That by March this year, there's another big boom, and we'll come in and share. And I intend to do every week. I want to have testimony days. We're just coming to share mentees who are doing well, their success stories, what they're doing, so that we can inspire others to take action. I love you all, and God bless you, and happy 2023 to you all. and God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kinta. Thank you, Mr. Boyman. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for this privilege.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Good night. Good
All
Good
right.
night,
night,
Good
sir.
night.
everybody. We love you.
All right.